All right, guys, we're back with another great episode of PFREI. I'm your host, Fuquan Bilal, passionate for real estate investment. Today we have, hold on a second.
There it is.
Very special guest, my man, the real estate preacher.
Indeed.
Yep. Randy Lawrence from Prosperity Capital. Let me read your bio real quick, let the people know the skill set and the experience we have in the room. So he's currently managing over $100 million assets under management with commercial buildings, and also you do some single family flips, about 75 plus a year, crushing it, 75 plus a year. But he's been in the business for a while, guys. He started off with his father. His father was a builder, a second generation also home builder, and then he kind of transitioned into doing commercial real estate and flipping single family homes. So he's successfully purchased and managed and executed the process of acquiring hundreds of single family properties, from banks, hedge funds, and investors, and oversaw renovations of the purchases with individual budgets of $450,000 plus. So this is just going back a little bit and then getting into it, but I'll let you tell the story to get into the interview of your experience. The first question that I always ask, Tampa area, sunny Florida. So
yes.
Right now, because the weather is a little not so good in here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I'll let you get into it. But the first question I always ask, Randy, is why are you passionate for real estate investing?
Yeah. Well, it's, I used to own and run a money management company 15 years, was a registered investment advisor and stockbroker, and really just saw the power of what real estate can do comparative to other investment classes and investment choices. And so it was really kind of like 2003 was a calling, if you will, I felt, to begin, not only for me to personally begin investing in real estate, but to begin to spread that branch to enable other people to invest in it. Because again, we managed money for about 15 years, typical stock bond portfolio, that kind of thing, just true asset management as a stockbroker and money manager. And the real estate assets were so powerful as it related to the return that you could get plus the security. And so that was where, that transition for me, it started in 2003, culminating in 2006. And so, praise the Lord, 17 years later, I'm still fired up about real estate.
I was just about to say that, man. Anytime I'm around you, you always fired up. We were in Amsterdam together at the Tony Robbins event. Had a really great time. He was fired up all the way. I had to leave. It was getting late. He still was in there 12, 1 o'clock.
All the way, man. All the way. Yeah.
Like I can't hang with these guys. But, coming from that transition of second generation home builder, you are market cycle tested because you started in 2003.
Yeah.
Sure, during the downturn, you had to make a transition and do some things there. So I like bringing people on that is market cycle tested, people that went through the downturn and know about that, took some lumps and restructured themselves. So let's talk a little bit about the transition from what you're doing both. You're doing residential flips, but I'm seeing a lot more of commercial bigger units. Let's talk about the transition or the difference between both of those and why. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a passive play for investors to kind of invest alongside of you, and the commercial market is really hot right now. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, our original focus in 03 was working with small apartment complexes and then single family homes. My original mentors had several thousand doors in the apartment space. So that had always kind of been a part of the equation, but not at the scale we're doing now, of course. And then, we've been in the single family focus from probably like, that 04 through 08, 09. And then, of course, bam, the market just crushed everybody. And so we really developed a large short sale company, helping just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people here in Florida. And then, really started scaling back the rehabbing probably in like 2012, 13, 14. And then at the same time, really seeing, that opportunity to help more people in the commercial space, just because, again, we're buying apartment complex for $5 million, $7 million, $10 million. It is a bigger play. It allows more people to invest with us. And it also impacts more people because now we've got 200 people living in a complex that we own that we can positively favorably impact their life. So, that was kind of the focus point of why we transitioned so much focus. And again, like you said, we still do about 75 houses a year. We've got a great team and great systems that help do that, but we're really focused on the multifamily side of things. And having the experience of going through 2008 causes us to be super laser focused and strategic. And so, as such, when we're looking at and evaluating a complex, we're doing it, bringing into the equation what we believe can affect during a downturn that may come in the next, 12, 18, 24 months, however long you feel that, kind of window is. But when we look at the complex, we take that into account based on the rents. We've got a specific strategy where we're not leading the market in rents. If somebody else is at 1,200, we're typically 1,175 with a nicer product. So again, kind of our secret sauce is we're now providing a better competitive product because now we've got a nicer unit that's been renovated. We're at the same price or a lower price. And so, we're not having to go in ahead of what the market may be. And so ultimately, when you're dealing with people in a C-class property, true blue collar workforce housing, if they can save $50, $50 is the world, bro. That's their water bill. That's an insurance payment on their car. And so if the other guy's at 1,200 and we're at 1,150 and our place is, just as nice or nicer, boom, they're filling us up. And that's why, most of our complexes we're running, typically 95, 96, and it can vary and all like that, but that's kind of our strategy. And so when the market slows down, if any price cuts are happening, they're cutting price at the leader to keep up with us. And then also too, really we're in the affordable space, right? So again, there's going to be a little bit higher turnover, a little bit higher bad debt, but again, people need a quality, clean, affordable place to live. So again, very strategic in our focus. And that's what I think people need to look for, because not everybody's weathered the downturn. We've weathered that. Like everybody ran, right? In 2008, dudes were in real estate, they were gone, man. It was ghost town, right? Like we're like the last man standing, right?
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, for sure, right? And so you've got a lot of people in the space that have been in it the last 4 years, and it's like on some level, you could be blind, deaf, and dumb, man, and have made money in real estate just because in a lot of places the market's appreciated so much.
That's awesome stuff, man. Now, a couple of things that I just want to go over. I know that when the market hit, because, I'm market cycle tested also. I, went through a whole process with that. And I wasn't a landlord at the time. I was just flipping properties. How to be a landlord. And that forced me to be a landlord. And now my whole mindset is recession-proof investing, diverse investing, where I have my investments in different facets of the real estate realm. The rental market, though, stayed strong. See, because a lot of people lost houses, and then they kind of transitioned to becoming renters. See, especially here in New Jersey, and we'll talk about the geographical areas you're in, but we see in New Jersey a lot of migration from New York. The rents are like 3 times the amount. So, I'm able to increase rents. Units that I was getting $900 for a two bedroom, I'm now able to get $1,500 because people in New York are paying $2,500 for a bedroom. That's been a plus for us on here. So let's talk about geographical area. Like I know, want to back up the flips. Are you continuing to do those to create a liquidity event along with the rental cash flow you have? So you have mesh together, or is it just
more so that we're mission focused? You know what I mean? So we look at twofold focus, like what's the impact that we're having on the people that we work with and help. And so in the single family arena, yes, we have good cash flow that comes from that, but the primary driver is, we've got about 7 employees total that, probably 3 to 4 work in that single family space. And then we have 8 to 10 contractor teams that work for us all the time. And then we help, roughly 75 people a year out of some circumstance. And so, that continues to be a primary driver for us there. The cash flow is, it's a great kind of byproduct, but, quite frankly, we definitely make more money in the apartment complex arena. But again, for those reasons, we'll continue to do the single family.
Because it's a lot of work, flipping houses.
It is, yeah. People they watch HGTV and they think, oh yeah, It's like, man, there's so many moving parts and so many problems and crap.
Yeah.
You know, so
I actually I do a lot of YouTube videos of where I'm going out, but I've been secretly recording all of the drama. We're trying to edit that to put it out, full disclosure.
Sure. It is. That's, you know, quite frankly, most people don't really succeed at a high level in that arena because it's just so tough. There's so many moving pieces. And then when you move to, you know, do 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 projects at a time, it's even that much more complex. And
I'm doing that right now, Randy.
And God bless you.
I got a great team, though, man.
It is.
Really great team. You know, processing it only makes you stronger and staying on top of it.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say about that is more of my time is involved in it. And because I'm a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
That's a challenge that I have. It's something I'm trying to correct in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, orchestrate the band, don't play in it.
Yep.
For 20 years, I like to go to the field. I like to get the guys motivated. I like to be in the mix with it. You know, because you and I both, we have investors' capital. We want to make sure things are getting done. Of course, we can leverage someone else, but you know, I like being out there. I'm not an office guy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe when I get a little older, become a little more passive, then you know, gotta be that. But I'm still active in the mix.
Yeah. No. It's good. Well, and it's, you know, I mean, I think that it is, that's for us has been the key is quality people, systems, and process. You know what I mean? So like, you know, we've definitely, all the years as we've gone along, exactly. We've upgraded our people, you know what I mean? So every year, you know, when we have a turnover now, again, we've got team members that have been with us 2.5 years, you know, 3 years. But we've consistently upgraded to have better people, because that's really the key. Is you've got good people, good process, and good systems, then it makes, you know, life a lot easier. And that's the same thing that we've developed in the multifamily side, is the systems process that we've, you know, kind of honed and developed over the last 17 years. We've brought that into the large scale multifamily. So with those, we're located in the Southeast and Southwest. So like North Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then Arizona. And we're buying complexes that are, you know, 80, 100, 200 units that are, you know, self-sustained, you know, large complexes, 10, 20, 30 buildings, you know, 5, 10, 15 acre properties. And so that with that, we've got economies of scale right there. And, you know, I think that's one of the things that I like with respect to the multifamily is you've got so much scale there, right? Because unlike a single family home, you know, we've got 100 units there. So we've baked in, you know, 5, 7%, 10% economic vacancy, so that when 1, 2, 3, 4 people are moved out, we're doing a turnover, it really is not affecting the overall performance of what our goals are to accomplish. And also the leverage that we're able to get with the debt, where we can get, you know, 75, 80% loan with a, you know, fantastic loan terms of, you know, 30 years and interest only for 2, 3, 4 years, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, bank money, all at, you know, 4, 4.25, 4.5, you know, just depends on, you know, those kind of things. But
that's awesome.
That kind of quality debt also gives us great leverage. And again, that's also kind of being strategic, making sure we have good debt on our projects. Because again, 2008, people got their butt handed to them because they had bad debt. You know, they had debt that was maturing that they couldn't, you know, execute on their plan, or, you know, and a lot of that, what I see too is guys, they either had a faulty plan, they didn't execute the plan, they didn't prepare strategically for the what ifs, and, you know, 2008 when things fell off the cliff, it just, you know, kicked their butt. And
got it.
You know, so that's where, again, we look at those things. And again, I don't say looking forward to it, but again, I have the real reality it's going to shake the weak people out. Which is good.
For sure.
Yeah, which
for
is
sure.
good.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. This is a question I always ask the guests also. And, you know, we're only human. We're not perfect. You know, we do the best we could. We do the best it could be done every day, not the best. The best it could be done. What are the challenges that you're going through that, for as business wise, that you're trying to transition into 2020 to correct some of that? Like with me, it's scalability. I'm working on things. As you see, I have the book Traction. That, going through that whole process. I've joined a few mastermind groups so I can learn from other people like yourself and other people who are top notch. so I can kind of get a hold of that, so I can be able to, when someone say, here's a check for 10 million or 20 million, I can deploy it and put it to work without having a scalability issue, whether it's buying notes or buying properties. What are some of the challenges that you guys see in that multifamily sector, as far as from your business that you're trying to implement to, I don't know if you want to grow or what's your plan?
We've got a plan. It's a 30-year plan. I mean, in the next 10 years, we'll go to $1 billion in assets. It was part of kind of the CG CEO, Daniel Marcos, starting to think 20, 30 years out. And most oftentimes we're thinking like what's going to happen the next year. And, I think it was Tony Robbins that said that, most people will overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. And so we're focusing on this long-term multi-generational plan for our company. It'll, exceed $1 billion in assets, and then it'll outlive me for sure. But so, definitely we continue to scale and grow. I think for me, we've been very systems oriented, very process oriented. I'm pretty tough driving the ship, so to speak. And I think for me, probably one of the challenges that I've been working through is related to a mindset of, I'm at about 100% execution, like in a genuine way. I mean, good Lord, I ran a church full time from 30 to 45, planted a church and ran these businesses, right? So that's like the equivalent of 2 full-time things. And so I've just got a kind of an ability where, like 100% execution all the time.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that focus.
I know what you mean.
Competency, whatever that may be.
I know what you mean.
And so for me, we've developed accountability systems with our managers and our team members in the field and all like that. And it would frustrate me some where, like, dude, I remember everything, like legitimately, even with our business, every component, I remember it. Just that's how God's put me together. And so when people miss stuff, it's like, man, how did you miss that? Right. And there would be a frustration. So for me, I've been working on this thing and realistically coming to the conclusion. It's like, people don't have to be at 100% to be good. Right. And that I can have a better journey and our company can have a better journey. That again, like whatever, man, if it's a 90 or a 95 or an 89, that's still going to be an acceptable execution there for
celebrate
that person.
The wins.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a book, the title's escaping me. It was In a Pit on a Snowy Day, or the next sequel to that book. But anyway, talking about how their standard is like an 80% standard. And again, now my standard's probably higher than that, but I think that's part of what it is recognizing that things don't have to be perfect in order for them to be good. Because again, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but that's where the accountability comes into play. And we've built out those systems where it's like, people have come to Jesus meetings with me where I say, hey man, you better get straight on this thing, right? Because like, hey, we got to get this done. And part of that is, I'm driven to accomplish this mission. And just like you said, also too, there's other people that invest with us. And so, I take that very seriously, right? You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm going to accomplish our outcome no matter what, right? Like that's the deal, because 1, it's the vision that I have. 2, it's the commitment I've made to the people that invest with us. And, that's ultimately why in 17 years, there's been people that have invested with us all the way back to 2003 that they've made double-digit returns, never lost money, even during the downturn. And, that's built us up in a major way because of that level of performance. And so that's where it's like, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to ensure that happens. And so it's a blessing, but also could be a curse, right? Because then you're too like, dude, how did you miss that? Right?
Yeah. I get it, man. I get it. I just put a notification out today from the 20th to the end of the year. We're going to take a step back and just do reflection. I'm not going to push because I'm so that push to the last day. And I was like, you know what? It's, we're all, I'm the only one from Mars. Everybody else.
No, man, I'm laughing, right? Because I say that, and then like we're closing 2 complexes in the next 2 weeks, and then I got 2 more close in January. Like I said that last year. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take it back. So yeah, but I looked at the schedule because I know we're going to be out in California in December here coming up.
Yeah, next week.
Next week, and then I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, thank the Lord, the next 3 weeks I'm home with the family, and so that's the deal.
That's awesome, man. So are you doing a podcast now? You have a podcast?
It is, yeah. So we've had a podcast called The Real Estate Preacher.
Real Estate Preacher.
Still, if you look up real estate investing, it still lands in the top 60. I've just not been as vigilant in doing it, and so we've really retooled our focus that we are going to start delivering a weekly content, and it's really kind of a mental, spiritual, and executional strategy. So because a lot of the stuff is mindset, and again, the other part of it, it's faith, right? Like, good God, it takes faith to go to work, right? I mean, like, like and so in accomplishing your dreams, whether it's being an attorney, having a law practice, or a CPA firm, requires a measure of faith, right? Because you've got to believe in yourself and believe in the outcome, and take the steps that need to be taken to be an entrepreneur. And so a lot of that's incorporated in, and also teaching about the apartment complexes and passive investing and the value and the benefits of that. So it's kind of a combination.
That's awesome. The Real Estate Preacher. You guys should go check that out on all the platforms and social media. Also, I want to give you an opportunity to plug your website to your company before we close out.
Yeah, for sure. You can visit us www.prosperitycapitalpartners.net. prosperitycapitalpartners.net. You can check us out there, see some of the complexes, reach out to us if you want. Love to be able to help you in any way, shape, or form that I can.
That's great, man. Thanks for being a part of the show. Another great episode of PFREI, Passion for Real Estate Investments. Check it out on Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and all the other great social media channels. Thanks a lot,